Lesson 75. Life, lives, the poor, the rich. The plural of wife is wives. The plural of knife is knives. And the plural of life is lives. What's the plural of life?
The plural of life is lives.
Do you think the lives of the poor are happier than those of the rich?
Yes, I think the lives of the poor are happier than those of the rich. Or, no, I don't think the lives of the poor are happier than those of the rich, but I think they're less happy or unhappier than those of the rich.
Really? Real. Have you ever got up really early?
Yes, I've got up really early. Or, no, I've never got up really early.
Do you think there are people in the world whose lives are not really worth living?
Yes, I think there are people in the world whose lives are not really worth living. Or, no, I don't think there are people in the world whose lives are not really worth living.
Why?
Because they're poor or hungry or ill.
What do you think is the real reason for living?
I think the real reason for living is to be happy and to try to make the world a better place to live in.
Ran. What's the past of run?
The past of run is ran.
If you ran against him, who do you think would win?
If I ran against him, I think he would win.
Adverbs formed from adjectives. As you have already seen, one very common way of forming adverbs is by adding the letters ly to the adjective. For example, careful, carefully, dangerous, dangerously, useless, uselessly, etc. Tell me one very common way of forming adverbs from adjectives.
One very common way of forming adverbs from adjectives is by adding the letters ly to the adjectives.
Give me some examples, please.
Bad, badly, quick, quickly, etc.
Flew. What's the past of fly?
The past of fly is flew.
If you flew round the world in a straight line, would you finish in the same place as you had started?
Yes, if I flew round the world in a straight line, I'd finish in the same place as I had started.
If a bird flew into this room, what would you do?
If a bird flew into this room, I'd probably try to catch it.
Wool, sheep. Which animal do we get wool from?
We get wool from a sheep.
The plural of sheep is sheep. It is irregular. We say one sheep, two sheep, and not two sheeps. What's the plural of sheep?
Sheep is the plural of sheep.
Possessive case of plural nouns ending in s. Apostrophe, case. How do we form the possessive case of singular nouns like girl, man, child, etc.?
We form the possessive case of singular nouns like girl, man, child, etc. by adding an apostrophe and the letter s.
Give me some examples, please.
The girl's coat, the old man's hat, a child's book.
How do we form the possessive case of plural nouns that do not end in s, such as men, women, children, etc.?
We form the possessive case of plural nouns that do not end in s, such as men, women, children, etc., in exactly the same way as we form the possessive case of singular nouns, that is, by adding an apostrophe and the letter s.
Give me some examples, please.
The old men's hats, children's books, women's clothes.
When, however, a plural noun already ends in s, we form its possessive case just by adding the apostrophe, but not the s. There are a few exceptions to this, but they are very few. How do we form the possessive case of a plural noun which already ends in s?
We form the possessive case of a plural noun which already ends in s just by adding the apostrophe but not the s.
Give me some examples, please.
The girls' coats, the workers' clothes, ladies' dresses.
What do footballers' shirts have written on their backs?
Footballers' shirts have numbers written on their backs.
Kick. What am I doing?
You're kicking the table.
Lucky. Cat. Do people in your country think it's lucky to see a black cat?
Yes, people in my country think it's lucky to see a black cat. Or no, people in my country don't think it's lucky to see a black cat.
Coast. Certain. Can the English coast be seen from the coast of France?
Yes, on certain days the English coast can be seen from the coast of France.
Tire. Do you ever tire of speaking?
Yes, I sometimes tire of speaking, or no, I never tire of speaking.